Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's Greg here again with another update on the Tiger diorama with the truck. As I said, again, I've been not prolific in building or doing anything the last few weeks. I've had a busy week this week with my daughter's birthday and my wife's birthday, one after another, and then my son came down with us as well to celebrate everything, so I really didn't get much done this week, but I'll show you what I've done in between then and now. So we'll start off with the turret. So last time you seen it, it was just painted now, so now it's all got weathered now. I've weathered the thing. Yeah, nothing too much, just enough. A bit of dust. Got the tracks on now. And with the chipped up Zimmerit, and bits of Zimmerit left on there as well. Added shadows around the latch there and behind the tracks. The natural shadows emphasise it basically. Again, around the rear, turret bin, and then we have the other tracks which are all done and weathered, and again cheap Zimmerit with the remnants on there as well. So basically what I did with this, I did a normal pin wash with two colours. I did a dark one and a sepia one. I did where's the one I used? I used a made up one this time. Where's it gone? Here we go. I used this this wash here. Where we are? There we go. Here's that one there, which is basically, there we go, brown wash for German yellow, so it works quite well. Just the washes, just the actual pin wash. I didn't do any wash all over the vehicle. I don't like doing that. And the dust effects, I used part of this, which is a Wilder product, which is out of thing now. So I used it sparingly. So I can use it better. I can't really see. Which is Aqua Dry Earth, and this stuff, Modeller's World Dirty Dust, which is good. You can use this through the airbrush, which is, it's nice and it comes out, and it's acrylic, so you can let it down with water depending on what the effect you want. So we use that as well on there to get the sort of dusty, worn look. Not much rust on there, just a little bit. Got a few marks, this crew sliding down the off the turret there. Got the clear ones. I made some clear ones fit for the Commander's cupola, so we've got all those, and I've just put a little bit of wet effect on them now, just to give them a little bit of shine. Turrets, obviously this is going to point at this angle roughly as well when it's on the side on the vehicle. Again, happy with where it's going. Right, so we'll move on to I'll just show you the figures, some of the figures. I've only got two figures for this one. I've only just blocked all the colours in at the moment, nothing startling at the moment, so we've got those two figures at the moment. This one I've sort of chopped and thinged just to get him in a similar pose to the guy in the photo. It's not exactly, but it's close enough. And that guy you're going to see in the van. I may add another figure yet, unsure if I can get hold of one again, but the one I want is what I had on the Stern Tiger taking the picture, because this obviously must have been a guy taking a picture that I'm working from, so I'm thinking about adding one of those as well. So that's just the figures there, I just blocked in at the moment to work on them individually. Right, we'll bring in the, oh sorry, I didn't show you these as well, did we? I've weathered there were some spare tracks on the front of the tank, so I've used, I presume some of these tracks could have been used at some point, so I've actually weathered them to make them look as if they've been used, and they've just been taken off a destroyed tank and they're stuck on the front for extra armour and obviously spare tracks. So I've got a couple of brass pins in there as well that came out from the Tiger tracks themselves, and weathered them up and then just put a bit of a shine on them as if they've been used. So I've got two of those, so they'll be going on very shortly. The side that's going to be facing on the ground, I've done all the side skirts again. I've done them just in case I need to have them like crushed underneath, or they're being ripped off as the tank's being pushed across from the road. So I might just slip them as if they're coming ripped off on that side as well. So I've done 3 of them because I can't find it. I must have lost one. Yeah, so they're ready. Anything else on the Tiger apart from the base I'm going to show you? I've done quite a bit on the Tiger actually itself. I'll show you the upper hull first and then we'll work our way down. Anything else? Anything else on there? No, that's right. So we'll bring in the Tiger. I don't like all this at the moment. So we've got this stage at the moment. This needs weathering at the moment, the upper hull. Let's just take it off for now. It's only stuck in with double-sided tape and I bet you I can't get the bloody thing out. There we go. Yeah, so I started weathering the engine deck and needs dusting up as well. And all the tools are on. Clasps are put on now as well. So that needs dusting up. I've damaged some of the screens a little bit, added a little bit of rust onto them as well. The rear of the vehicle, we've got the shroud on one and not on the other, and the dust coming up on the bottom on there. So I'm quite happy with that. So engine deck obviously needs to be, fuel spills, but I'm going to have to do it at an angle because obviously it's going to be sort of that way on, so whatever's come out I'll be dripping down the sides that way. So that's what I'm going to have to do in here. When I finish weathering, that'll be one of the last things to do probably. The front, again I've got the base on there. I just need now, that's just the that just shoved the dust that I showed you in the bottle, the dirty dust. So it needs now to be added with the light dust. Is it light dust? Dry earth, sorry, from the welder products. Light on this thing is smashed on the picture, so I've smashed it and I've added a couple of little wires in there just to see if there's a bulb or wiring in there that's come off. And again, I'm excited doing the dust from there as well. And because it's going to be on its side, there's going to be a lot more thought put into the bottom of the turret, sorry, bottom of the hull, because it's mainly going to be on display. This side is not going to well, you are going to see it, but not as much as you would normally. But I still weather it. It's all part of the plan, as they say. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So we'll start off now. We'll put this back on here so I can. Is it going to stay? Right. So we'll start off with the bottom now. Obviously we've got a few inspection hatches, I would presume they are. Just added a little bit of grease and oil and bits and bobs on there, and a few blades of static grass, and I'll show you the rest in a minute. And obviously it's going to have a few scrapes from going over things. This stuff I'll show you in a second, I mixed up myself. Again, we have here on the, obviously underneath the skirts are going to be dusty and mucky. Again, on the sides we haven't quite finished the sides, even though you're not going to see a lot of it because of the wheels, but the wheels are going to be slightly dropped because of where the track is hanging, and the other one hasn't got a track on. So this is the side, you're going to see this side. So this needs to be a bit more, not a lot, just a little bit more before I add the wheels. Yeah, so I'm quite happy with that. Quite happy. I'm going to work on the rest of it. The first thing to do today is I'll work on that. I don't use a lot of pigments when I'm working. There's a little bit of pigment in there, obviously, with the mix I'll show you I made in a minute. But yeah, so it's come out quite well. Quite pleased with that. Quite pleased with that. So I'll just pop that over there and I'll show you the things that I made the mix with. I'll show you all sorts of other things as well. I've been raiding well, red in the garden, just going around picking bits of things because there's quite a lot of foliage on the ditch. So I made some and I've collected some. So we've got, this is just horsehair. We need trimming up and getting all those little shreds off, but I need spraying as well. Maybe just dull it down. We've got little bits out the garden, bits out the garden as well, off a tree. These are off little bushes. I've still got to go and raid a few more yet, but obviously I'll change the colours on these as well. Some of them I will, but not all of them. What else? What else have we? Okay, this is the muck. So let's pop them there. And I say I've got these ones as well. These are oh, I can't name the stuff now. Again, they need all changing colours as well, just slightly. Those, and these are just Pz.Kpfw.VI. That's the name of this stuff. Pz.Kpfw.VI. I got tons of it from when my son got married, so I kept it all. So I'll never be out of that stuff for a while. And this is Pz.Kpfw.VI again, just with nothing on there, so it'll be like dead bits. But there again, I might just leave them that colour. I might just slightly change them a little bit darker, slightly, because they're dying. So nothing goes to waste. Nothing goes to waste. You've seen the bushes that I've made, didn't you, last time as well? Yes, I'll show you the mix I made. This is basically my soil from my garden with pigments added to it. And this will be used again as the soil on the sides of the roads as well, just slightly different colour when it's down when I do the other stuff on it. Basically soil out of my garden with some grey pigment added to it as well. So I just finally saved the soil, went in the soil from the garden, I just stuck it in the oven, dried it out, and then used two different kinds of sieves, and I got sort of two or three different grades of soil in there. So don't need to buy anything like that when you've got it sitting in your garden. So that's what that's for. That's there. I'll put all this back on here. I don't think there's anything else I can say to mention. There's nothing up there. Tiger tracks are done. Let me just double check. There's nothing up there I've put. I need to show you. I've made a sort of start on the dio. I've just cut the ditch out and things like that, and when I did cork floor things as well for the road to give me the base for the road. Yeah. I'm showing you other things like that, so we don't need to worry about that. So I'm just going to keep building up the bush work, I think, today as well, once I've done the hull. We'll continue going in the garden in between this. It's pouring down at the moment, but in between garden and rain, we'll go and get some other bits and pieces, have a hunt around. And yeah, so I think that's where we are. I don't think there's anything else. I don't think there's anything else to add. Oh yeah, sorry, I have got some little bits and pieces on this little last bit here. I've got some wing nuts to go on, but they're near the end. Because I could have knocked them all the PE ones off just about, but looking at these ones are in the kit, so they're just as good, if not better actually. So I've got those to add near the time. And I've got a couple of different aerial bits, but I'm just using the kit one, but I've sprayed it anyhow. But that was to go a different colour when it goes onto the vehicle, like this one. Where's it on this side, isn't it? Can you even remember which side it's on? There, just the aerial you can see on there. So that's on there for the moment. I'm unsure to put a full aerial on because I can't quite see. Or there's this piece in here. Tweezers. These are all just the bits that never got used. Well, apart from the helmet which goes onto the guy. Where are we at? Where is that little bit of aerial? There we go. That little bit of, as if the aerial hasn't, it goes on in bits because there's a clasp to go on the top which holds the aerial on. So I'm going to add that. I might just add the clasp but not the aerial. I'm going to show you. Show you the clasps. They are, see these tiny bits here, these here, I put my hand on there. I've got the aerial bases and then we've got these clasps for the aerial to be clasped obviously when it's unclasp when it's not being used, obviously. So I might just add the short aerial and the clasp and leave the long aerial off, which I have made just using where's it at? Just using round thin plastic rods, but I've actually it's marked on there. And I've just trimmed, if you look at it closely, I've actually narrowed it towards the top. I just sanded it slightly, worked it up and just narrowly got a point on the end of it as well. So I don't know, I may still add this. It's a bit on the long side, but it's no problem, just trim it off at the bottom. But yeah, so I just used a plastic rod. I did have a metal one, but it had a slight accident, it went ping, and in my room you've got no chance of finding it. I'll find it eventually, but I'm not going to hunt now, so that's why I made a new one. So that's where we are. Nothing else in there, just the idler things to go on the backs to tension the tracks. I've left them off at the moment. I'll have to weather those actually before they go on. So that's where we are. So we're getting there slowly. I don't get as much time now on the bench. I look after my grandson, which I love doing. So his mum and dad can go to work, so I don't mind that. And I get a little bit of time in the afternoon, sometimes in the evening now. Yeah, so we'll get there. We'll get there. So I say thank you very much to all my new subscribers and all to my old ones and the comments that I'm getting. Again, I don't reply, but thank you. I do read everyone. I do leave a whatever it is, a heart and a thumbs up, whatever it is. But I do read everyone, and I do thank you all for the kind comments. So this is Greg signing off, and we shall catch you very soon once I've got the tank weathered up and it's finished. I'm ready to go on the dial. I'll show you before we start working on the dial. So we'll see you very soon.